And we're on the way. Miguel, once again, welcome.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for having me here today. My name is Miguel Riascos. I'm from the center right now. I'm the community sponsorship coordinator of this program that we'll be talking about. But before I start, I want to introduce my colleague, Minar. I want you to introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about you and the program, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to thank Miguel for giving me the chance to introduce myself today. My name is Manar. I actually immigrated to the US recently from Egypt. I came to the US in 2018 as a Fulbright scholar. I was teaching Arabic language in SUNY Cobleskill. And then I came back to the US again in August. I work at the center now at like a immigrant community navigator. My job is to connect the service providers and the stakeholders to the clients, which are low-income immigrants and refugees. Basically, I'm responsible for organizing roundtables with the stakeholders, navigator training, community conversations, etc. So thank you so much for inviting me here. And if you have any questions, I would love to answer them.
Thank you, Omar. Okay, today we want to talk about co-sponsorship program. It's a new program that the center has in partnership with the LIRS since the last year. It's a new program, basically have like a 4 months, 6 months, and since we start working as the center in this program. Co-sponsorship program basically is a program that offers community groups to get involved and support refugee families. I will share with this my screen. Basically, some of the requirements to anyone who want to participate in this program are basically they have to commit from 3 to 12 months to support in work with family. And there has to be a group between 6 to 10 people who are willing to support a family. We have to run the background check. You guys have to sign for a commitment agreement where you guys say that you will work with the family during 6 or 12 months, or how much money you guys can provide to support the family, all of this stuff. This is a flyer, I guess. You guys have this flyer, yes? Everyone saw the flyer before? Yep, right. Yes, this flyer basically is the basic information about the program. It's co-sponsored. It's a special relationship between a local resettlement agency and community group who willing to support a family, a refugee family who comes through our program, basically, co-sponsorship. Okay, but before that, I would like you guys to watch a video that tell a little bit about the stories of refugees that come to the United States and how they experience the process and how they feel. So I would like to share this with you.
Miguel, is there supposed to be audio with this video?
Yes, it's no audio in.
All I hear is silence.
Oh my goodness! I thought you guys was enjoying the video.
Well, it's very striking, and
Yes, yeah, you guys can read, but you need to listen to
Yeah.
as they did. Let me see. With what about now? Can you hear?
no, I think you may need to share your audio as well as your video. So no. Miguel, let me try to share it. I have the video on YouTube.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Try to share it.
Okay, this video was making for it was made by Global Citizen. This is a video that show like the experience that every family who comes to United States and at some point and how they feel, how they feel living the country, but how the United States become for them a good opportunity place to start over, to build a new life and to be better. You know, this is a very good video that show us a little bit how we can connect with refugees, you know, understand what's going on.
Was at night.
I was
Perfect.
in the city named Mansour about 7 p.m.
One day my son go to the school.
I just heard some gunshot and everything, and people came and knocked the door, broke the door, and took everybody outside.
And after a while he came back because he say there is a man, he's dead on the glass.
People in the street, they stopped me.
They were killing people around of me.
They tried to kidnap me from the car.
They are shooting the people in front of my house.
And we start to run, and once they turn back to see us running away, they start to shout at us.
They're gonna ask my family for money and they're gonna kill me after that.
I was young, but I could see what was going on, and it was hard to see.
It was so horrible.
It was so dangerous to stay more.
So I decided to move.
Life in Bosnia before was awesome.
We were living like peacefully.
I grew up a good life because my mom's family were good financially.
I had small business, my restaurant over there.
We have some problem, we have some good, it's normal.
But eventually, like without any warning or anything, it just started one day. We were outside when bombing started, so yeah, that was kind of unexpected.
I left when I was 11 years old.
8 years old.
I think I was 16.
Our parents said that, okay, we need to do a bus ride.
We were told we're going to the city for the amusement park.
We didn't know that we are living for forever.
Almost all the Iraqi people, they can't live in the camp.
We were never in a refugee camp.
We are living in refugee camp.
About 2 years in the refugee camp.
I grew up in the refugee camp.
You don't know where you're going to end up.
I think at one point we were going to end up in Finland, and then another point we were going to end up in Sweden.
It was a whole process, actually, and screening before we get approval.
Finally, it was They told us you're going to end up in Buffalo, New York. We thought it was New York City, but it wasn't.
Coming to the United States, it's also one of the challenging things.
That's just a very strange transition, 180 degree.
Everything was hard.
For 3 days, we didn't even leave our home.
English was completely out of my mind.
My English was like zero.
I couldn't talk to anybody. Like in school, I was just by myself sitting there.
I remember being asked, "What's your name?" and my answer was yes.
Everything was different.
First of all, the weather.
It was my first time to see big buildings.
This is the first time in my life I sleep on the mattress.
We went into the bus and we were circling for like 3 hours because I didn't know there is a string you should pull down if you want to get out.
And then finally, my dad decided, you know what? I'm going to leave. I see a corner store that people are coming in and out. I'm going to walk there. And my mom, I remember looking out of the window, making to see if he makes it back safely. And then he came back all happy because the owner of the corner store was Yemeni, so he speaks Arabic. And so that made my dad's day.
We thought that there is only one kind of people, but when we arrived here and there is like white people, Asian people, African people, lot of people, so, oh, okay, so maybe we are good too, you know.
I start to looking for a job just after a couple months.
My first job is a mechanic.
I work in medical billing.
It's my first year college.
Right now I work as interpreter and I love that job.
When you start job, you feel proud for yourself.
My salary start with the $850. I was so happy.
I help other people who were in my shoes.
Every day I call my dad, are you proud now?
I'm just lucky to be here and go back to school as every kid's supposed to do.
I feel that this community make me feel very welcome.
I decided only one way to pay back to those people. I'm not rich, so I'm not going to pay back financially. I decided to join the armed forces. Until today, I'm serving here about 13 years.
What do you feel like you've left behind, or what do you miss the most about life there?
I miss my whole life. It's not easy to leave the people that you love.
You had a sense of connection, you had a sense of belonging. I'm still searching for that.
I like how everything goes here, but it doesn't change me much because I still have the sense of where I came from.
To be honest with you, I don't miss my country. Because here I found what I missed. I want to be more, I want to be better, you know.
What is my dream?
There are a lot of dreams.
My dream was to go to school, which I went for like 8 years. That feeling when I graduated, it's like something like no one can pay you for, like when they call your name.
One dream come true that I buy a home for the first time.
What's your dream for the future?
I wish that I could be a singer.
It's done. It happened. When I saw my kids, they grow up in safety place and they study what they want and they don't need to do something they don't like it. That's the dream, what I need more.
My name is Makile.
I'm Nadine Youssef.
Felix Madi.
Hi, my name is Masera Fayek.
I'm from Iraq.
Bhutan.
Burundi.
Burma.
I am a refugee and I am a global citizen.
I'm a global citizen.
I am a global citizen.
Thank you, Larry. This video, the first time I saw this video, was very shaking because it showed really what immigrant refugees feel about being in the United States. They have to leave the country, leave family behind, you know, cultures, all of this stuff that make them feel be who they are, basically, who we are, basically. But I would like to listen to you guys. What you guys think about this video? What that make you feel when you see this video, but also and compare when you see the refugees or people from other countries walking back to your side in Utica or wherever you are. What do you think about this video? Anyone can talk. You can unmute yourself and do it. Minar?
I want to say that I can relate because when I first came to the US, I mean, I'm not a refugee. I'm sure that they have been through a lot, but I can relate because everything was different. Like everything, the roads, the weather, the language. I mean, even if you speak the language, the cultural barrier, the healthcare system, navigating the healthcare system was really challenging for me. And I consider myself to be educated. So let alone if somebody wasn't exposed to the Western culture or has a cultural language barrier, and they would have to navigate through the healthcare system, that is tough. Everything is not easy at the beginning and challenging, let alone leaving everything behind, friends, family, memories. So I can understand what they went through. And yes, the movie was touching, definitely. But it was also hopeful, happy ending.
It was. Thank you, Nora. Somebody else want to say something? Nobody.
It makes me it raises a question in me in terms of what would it take for us who are residents here, who grew up here, to start thinking in terms of being global citizens and not provincially American citizens only. And I don't have a ready answer for that, but that's one of the first things that comes to my mind is what I feel like there's greater sense of relationship that could be built if I and the community that I'm within were to focus more on understanding ourselves as global citizens and asking then ourselves, how do we be better global citizens, as opposed to how do I be a better American citizen? So that's where I am right now.
Nice, very nice. Thank you. Somebody else want to say something?
I think actually to be an American citizen is to be a global citizen. And, two of my children are Korean by birth and were adopted. And we lived in Korea for 3 months in a city of 500,000 with very, very few people whose ancestry was European and hence white. Very, very few. People would come up to my youngest child, who is European American, and they would rub his hand because his skin color is so white and was so blonde. So it is, I know that side of it, but I know that side of it living in upstate New York as compared to where my grandmother lived in the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. There's a lot of diversity in our country. We just don't all see ourselves as global citizens.
Thank you, very interesting. I think diversity and global citizens is what make us be better, when we understand that diversity is part of our lives, that can help us to learn to be better every day, is when we really understand others, and when we understand others based on their culture, belief, and we respect that, but we include them in our system, in our daily life, that make everyone's better because you learn, it's the opportunity to be better, is what I think, is very nice. And now this program basically is offer at community groups to be part of this welcome and inclusion process too. Through our co-sponsorship program, we want community groups to join us to welcome families from Burmese, Korean, or Malaysia, or any country they come from, and help them to adjust in the local community by helping them to understand the surrounding, the situation, how to take the bus, how to go to school, how to enroll a student in school, or apply for a job, or how to navigate in the city. If they need to go to the grocery, we can show them how to get to the grocery, to the shopping store, to all of these places that offer services that can help them to be better in this country, in this town, basically. Co-sponsorship program is a program that allows everyone who wants to be volunteer or sponsor to join us and support these new cultures and diversity that's coming through our program. Yep. Somebody else has something to say about the video? Neymar? Okay.
I want to say that the fact that Jason raised that question itself is a good start, because I understand that America is a very diverse country, but sometimes you feel like there might be still some barriers between people who came from different cultures. And I think just by understanding that there exist other cultures and other ways of thinking and other habits, and I think this is itself is a good sign, and trying to extend a hand for recent immigrants or refugees. I think having people like you and having people like the community leaders we deal with who are extending hand and trying to help and trying to have community conversation, to ask questions and answer, I think this is itself is a very good sign, and it's a very good step. Asking questions and willing to know, having conversations, exchanging ideas, fears, concerns. I think that's a good sign.
It is. Thank you. Yes. Guys, I'm very happy. I'm Colombian, by the way. I came to US like 6 years ago. And when I came to US, I didn't speak English, like nothing. I knew basically what they taught in school. There's like a colors number until 10, and that's it. Nothing else. So for me, was very hard to be in the United States, because I moved to New York City. I was living in Manhattan. It's just white people. It's no much diversity who live in the area. People who work in the area is from everywhere, but people who live in the area is not. It's just white people, Americans, basically. And for me, be surrounded by this situation was very hard, until I find out my way out, and I met Colombian guys, I met Venezuelan, Ecuadorian, and I start feeling like, okay, it's not that different, So I start feeling like there is a place for me to start. It was a place for me to recognize myself as a Colombian, but also as a part of the new system or community that offer me different opportunities, different ways to live, and to be better, because we all had this American dream, that American is a place where if you work hard, you go to school, you be a good person, you can be better, and believe that is what make me be where I am now, coordinating a program for refugees, for immigrants, and that basically brings Eureka new ways of thinking, diversity, culture, and inclusion, and that's why it's very important for me to be in this program, but also to include and invite everyone to be part of this project, to support newcomers and new refugees, but we call them newcomers now, and support them what they need, basically. So just talking about this program, I want to show you the different levels that this, if nobody has any question or comments before I start talking about the programs, I would like to hear. For now, I can just keep going. Michelle, want to say something?
I just was taken with calling refugees newcomers, and just sort of changing and shifting the that kind of negative connotation. You know, people, unfortunately, there are people that still make assumptions and judgments. And I feel like just starting with something as small as changing the language can be really powerful. And I feel like the video that you showed us is a real antidote to all of the harsh rhetoric that's out there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. So I will share with you this. This it doesn't have audio, so I don't worry about. But oh God. This is a presentation letter. I think some of you has read also this document before. And the center throughout this co-sponsorship program basically is offering to community groups different ways to participate or to support a family. One of these the first one we have is called co-sponsor, which is a community group who accept a non-legal binding writing agreement and is willing to support a family throughout 8 core services. We have the majority of 8 core services. Core services basically are rights that refugee has too. You know, we talk about school, we talk about employment, housing, food, you know, integration, all of this right. Apply for social security number, for employment authorization, work, all of these are rights. So co-sponsor who is willing to provide 8 core services to the family can be under this category, you know. And then we have another category that's called supporting. That's basically the same thing, but they provide less than 8 core services, you know. I will show you later what core services looks like, so you will know what I'm talking about. These 2 groups work directly with the family, co-sponsor a support group. They work with the family, but now we have a financial co-sponsor. There's any community group, organization, individual who is willing to provide in-kind donation or contribution to support the welcome of the refugees or the newcomers. So that means that this person or this company or this organization can provide just money or furniture in-kind donation to support the program. And the last one is called support group services. It's basically a community group or individual who is willing to support throughout services. One of these services could be English classes, art classes, business classes, or anything that improve the knowledge and skill of the refugees who's coming throughout this program. You know, could be any services. So we have these 4 different levels of commitment or support to support the welcome of the family. So you guys will choose in which of these categories you fit, and you can join us throughout this program. This basically everyone who signed for this program basically will sign for a commitment form agreement. As this document basically will show all the core services you guys can provide throughout this program. This is the commitment form for co-sponsorship. It will say when you guys want to participate in the program, by when you want to support a family, how much money you guys want to provide. We have a raise with a money between 1,000 to 10,000, and to support, you decide how much you guys can provide to support a family. All of this money is basically to support, to pay the rent for families on unmet needs the family has in the process for furniture, housing, clothes, pay the rent, to support them. These are the core services, basically, you know. Some there are pre-arrival, post-arrivals, and other services. In pre-arrival, we have somebody who helped us to set up a house, you know. Before the family arrive, we have to make sure that everyone has a place to sleep, you know, or to live. So what we do is trying to get a house, rent a house where we can provide bed, you know, furniture, kitchen, everything they need to live in the house. So if any of you guys willing to support a family throughout these services, you can choose these core services to provide support. Then we have post-arrival, it's just when the family is coming, the family is arriving to Utica, to Syracuse in this case. So if someone is willing to go to the airport and pick them, that's one of the core services you guys can provide. You guys can provide public assistance, social security application, if you have knowledge how to do it. I also want to say that the center provide all the core services is listed in this document. We provide all the support, but we want community groups to help us during this process, to join us based on what they know, what they can do to basically support the family. So we have a ESL enrollment, a school enrollment too. We have public transportation. Transportation has services too. If the family needs someone who take them to the doctor appointment or any interview, any appointment they have, that the support group or the co-sponsor can take them to this place so they can assist to the appointment. Now we have here the main grocery orientation. We have general health orientations, financial education. So if someone need to know how to open an account, a bank account, we can take them to the bank and explain them how to do it, what are the benefits, to support them during this process. Each group of each organization, we have a leader who represent them to the center, with the center, and we have the name of the group. If the group want to have a name, you can choose a name, the leader who is going to be the leader, or his personal information, basically, to sign this document. This is signed only by the leader of the group. And how I said before, the group can be made from 6 to 10 people, basically, under this category, So this basically is our program, co-sponsorship, and we offer different level of commitment. You guys will choose and where you guys feel that you can provide support. And if you guys have further question or any question right now, please let me know so I can explain a little bit better if you didn't understand something, because my accent, the way I speak, it's okay. We are here to work together and to understand each other too. So if anyone have any question based on this program, please, it's the time to ask for.
I don't have a question. Yeah, I don't have a question. I just want to point out for everyone else. I mean, Miguel and I know each other. We're best buddies now. Since I met him once, but we did have him come to like a lunch and learn, if you will, after church a couple of weeks ago, for our church, because we're trying to figure out at Stone and Clinton, what could we be doing with the refugee center, given limited time resources that we have. And so we do have a team that's working to figure out some different ways we can be working, with Miguel and having, as he just went through those different aspects. And so, there are a whole variety of, of ways you can do that. And I think the key thing is just to kind of sort out what capabilities and where the energy flow is for people and such. And, Miguel and them will be more than glad to work with you. We're still sorting it out ourselves, but there are a couple of things, like we have a person that's willing to teach voice lessons, for music, or, someone else to help, have us help do some, we have our fair trade gift shop. And so are there things that maybe if there's people who are creating crafts that we could, sell on their behalf, or, things like that. So these are all just ideas exploring, but I think there are ways that we can be more intentional, with the center in general, all of us, people in general, but obviously our Presbyterian churches as well.
Yes, thank you, Scott. Yes, we met in Clinton. Carrie, want to say something?
Yeah, I have a question. Are there newcomers waiting? Do you have a waiting list of people that are ready to be enrolled in the program and are just looking for sponsors?
Yes, we have 8 families coming during this month. We have 2 already in the list here. One is coming on March 23, but we have 6 more families coming throughout this month, the next month. So we have families already in the list to support. So what we need now is get groups together and start doing the training and the background check. Before we do everything with the co-sponsor, we have to run the background check. So to make sure that everyone doesn't have any issues that can affect the integrity of the welcome of the family. It's important to start with the background check. And then after we get the report, the result, we start doing all the training the co-sponsor need in order to provide support. So that means that if the co-sponsor choose a core services, but they need any kind of training or support in order to provide these core services, the center will provide all the training the co-sponsor needs to provide the services for the family, So we want to do training on topics like a trauma, because we need to understand, everyone needs to understand how important it is to the way they talk to them, they set up boundaries, the way they treat them. So we talk about trauma, we talk about safety training with everyone before the family arrive, just to make sure that everyone is in the same boat, and provide the right support the families need. That respond to your question, Laurie? Okay, yes, it's basically that we're trying to make sure that everyone who work with the family have knowledge of what they're doing, even if they say, okay, I'm very good doing public assistance support, so let's see what kind of support you can provide. And then if you need any kind of training or support, we want to work together. The idea is that we work together with the agency, the center work together with the co-sponsor group in order to provide any core services families need, or any core service you as a co-sponsor sign for. Yeah. It's a teamwork, basically, in order to do that. Because we know that most of you guys have experience, skill that can support our work. So we want to allow you to join us, we know also that many people have been doing sponsorship programs or sponsoring families in a no formal way, from long time. So the center say, okay, we have a new program now that offer a formal way to do it, where you will recognize as a co-sponsor after the commitment and finish. The other thing is that everyone who signed for co-sponsor will receive a welcome letter from the center to welcome to be part of the program, but also at the end of any commitment time, let's see if you guys sign to support a family for 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, every member of the group will get a certificate signed for the center, but also for the LIRS that say that you was a co-sponsor of each family during 6 months, and you provide 8 or 7 or 6 core services, like a certificate that prove that you support the family. It's something that we can give it like something back to the job and the work that co-sponsor does for the families, the newcomers. Anyone has any question or thoughts or something?
Okay, well, Miguel, thank you. I think your contact information was in the literature that I sent to everyone, your email address. And again, I'll be sending out a link to this video a little bit later, but really happy to have you with us, and thank you for the work you're doing.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And we are here to support everyone who needs support and open to work with anyone who wants to join throughout this program or any program at the center. The center is open to have support from everyone who wants to be part of this amazing program.
Yeah, very needful, very needful.
I also shared the link of the center, the website page. You can guys go through, check it, see the information, and you can contact me anytime you basically want more information about it. I'm here to support. Larry, thank you so much. I don't know if it's Larry or Larry.
Let's end with a blessing. I have one I think that's very appropriate for this subject.
Thanks.
May the peace you experience here silence the sounds of conflict and the weapons of warfare. May the joy of knowing you are loved conquer hatred and mend broken relationships in the community. May the love that surrounds you break down walls and barriers of political, social, and physical indifference. May the Creator bless you richly with healing grace. May you be a blessing to others, showing acts of kindness to your neighbor in all you encounter. Believe, behave, and belong.
This is beautiful. Thank you.
All right, friends, the Lord be with you. Bye now. Thanks again, Miguel.
Thank you, Ryan. Take care.